us now. House Minority Whip Steve Scalise, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. Good to see you both. Congressman Scalise, we start here. There's no stopping it. This is what they wanted. This is all we've heard. We've run montages, 2016, 2017, 2018, and all through 2019. Impeach, their favorite word. What are the consequences in your view?
Well, the consequences are that this is going to be a stain on Nancy Pelosi's legacy. The fact that this was an impeachment in search of a crime, and they never found a crime, Sean. And instead of moving on, their most radical base wanted impeachment regardless of whether or not the president did anything wrong, and so they went after it anyway. Instead of doing the things that they could have been doing to work with this president, to lower drug prices, to address so many other problems in our country. And so I think that's going to be something they're going to have to live with. It would be the first time in history, Sean, by the way, that an impeachment of a president happened on a party line vote. The only bipartisan vote will be against impeachment. And again, that's going to be a stain on Pelosi's legacy as Speaker.
Matt Gaetz, you're watching this unfold. I will say this. This has brought the Republicans, people like yourself, to the forefront, fighting for what truth is, fighting for due process. The idea that they rammed this through so quickly, they only had one fact witness, all hearsay and opinion witnesses. I mean, it's remarkable in terms of the depth of depravity and the lack of seriousness. It makes no sense because politically there's no way that they get away with this without paying a price.
That's right. I said after President Trump released the transcript of his perfectly fine call that Nancy Pelosi had been functionally catfished into an illegitimate impeachment. Tomorrow we will not win the vote, but we have won the argument. And then a result of that is going to be we're going to win the election. Now, I know Adam Schiff's dog may not be named Impeach, but I think it's the American people that are going to have Adam Schiff in the dog house when they see that our country has been divided and distracted with no crime, no victim, and a terrible process as the result of the Democrats having no agenda for the country.
Congressman Gaetz, Congressman Scalise, thank you both for all you've been doing.
The holidays are almost here, a time to toast those we hold dear.
Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us now from our Washington Bureau with more on this story. Major, good morning. We just heard Nancy Pelosi call this letter really sick. A lot of people were stunned by it. Did the people inside the White House know he was going to write it, and what are they saying about it today?
Well, sure. The president ordered it up, and he has sent it. He owns it. It's now part of his rhetoric dealing with impeachment, so the president's completely satisfied. But there were divisions, Gail, within the White House. There were some who said, Mr. President, look, riot accomplishments from last week on trade, defense spending, even family medical leave. Be above this process if you can. The president couldn't. He wanted to get down and dirty in the process.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
And welcome, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today is December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host, here with Susan Stroh. And guess what? Today is 4 months for me being here behind this microphone.
Whoa.
4 months today. Or was
That's
it the
good.
19th? Maybe it's tomorrow. Doesn't matter. We'll celebrate. Okay. I guess Ed wants me in...
It's important to celebrate
Fredericksburg,
these
so-
little milestones.
Yeah, little milestones. There we go. So December 18th, got lots going on in the world, in the country, politics, president, impeachment, all sorts of stuff. I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you. I mean, we got Trump's letter out there. We got Pelosi responding. We got them voting on impeachment. We got polls coming out. And if you want to be on the show, give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media is at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio. And YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. And we've got some videos and memes and articles up there. So check it out, like it, share it with everybody you know, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We were doing some pre-show recaps here, and we'll give a basic idea of what's going on with the impeachment process. But I've also got articles here. I've got Trump's letter, and I'm going to read some excerpts from that. I actually got an audio clip that may do the same thing, and I think it was really good that he wrote that letter. But first, before we get into all this, let me tell you what's coming up on the show. Obviously, we've got devotional and quotes and announcements coming up. True stories, once again, very important, what to do and what not to do in situations like this so we can all learn from it. And this story I saw, and I watched the video of this. This is a child being abducted in New York City while walking with her mother.
There's a video of
There's
that?
a video of it. It's
Oh
very
my
grainy,
gosh.
and the mother's freaking out for obvious reasons. But the reason I want to talk about it is, ladies and gentlemen, it can happen anywhere, anytime, to anybody for any reason. And in this world, in this day and age that we live in, if you don't think like that, you're foolish, because a person like that who's not paying attention becomes the mark. And the mark is the person that the bad guys decided they're going to mess with. Okay, so you don't want to be messed with. You want to make sure you're alert, prepared, and aware. Now, this was disgusting. I saw this, and we'll have a discussion about this as well. We have had discussions about the homelessness, but this is a cleanup on aisle 10. Walmart becomes the new porta potty. Got a picture of a guy relieving himself in aisle 10 of Walmart, and we need to discuss this. This is a breakdown of society. Even
Well,
though,
it's unhealthy. I mean, that's why we have indoor plumbing, you know. The Romans had plumbing. I mean,
I know, but this guy doesn't care about that. He's taking
But
crap in aisle 10 because we have a breakdown
our
of society.
leaders should care about this. Let's use the indoor plumbing for everybody's health.
But the
sanity.
DA over there in California, I believe it is, says, no, we're not going to do things like that. You can urinate in the streets, defecate on the streets, you can throw condoms.
It's just enabling them. It's just allowing them to do whatever they want to do. Can't do it. Can't do it.
But they are. And why? And why? Okay.
Why? That's a good question. We need to think about that one.
Really, I don't understand the why, because I can understand if it was beneficial. And some people will say, well, that's the way they think. Why do they think that way? Where does it come from? How can we root it out? How can we go to the base, the beginning of a thought process that is leading people off the edge or to homelessness or oblivion. How can we crop that? Other people want to stop other things that are good. Here, these things are bad and nobody wants to stop them.
I think it's a way to destroy society, and that's what the leaders are doing.
And the
there.
question is why? It always goes
Because
back to
they are
why.
communistic folks.
But what is-
They are trying to get rid of capitalism. We are evil, of course, you know.
Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC. I have a very special guest coming on in the 9 o'clock hour. And his name is Franklin Sanders. He's the money changer. I've done business with Mr. Sanders, and he's been around for over 40 years, and he's one of those guys who knows what he's talking about when it comes to precious metals. And every fiat currency on the planet in the course of time has failed, everybody. The U.S. dollar is no different. The only thing is we print it so we can control it and we can extend it longer than normal. But one day, someday, that dollar will not be worth anything. So you need to study it, understand it, and learn what to do to replace it with something that has intrinsic value.
Should be an interesting conversation.
It's going to be extremely interesting. If you don't know, look up the word intrinsic for me. I know what it is, but just get the actual definition.
Intrinsic value.
Intrinsic. Let's see. Central banks issue stunning warning that gold will be needed to start over if the economy collapses. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a mega statement because central banks never say that. They rarely say that. And so when they do say that and they start buying gold, it makes you wonder, what do they know that I don't know? Okay, so if you mess around and read about and understand somewhat of how the economy, not the economy, how it works, but money systems and precious metals and how one backs up the other. When you understand the basics, you get to see, oh, I understand to a certain degree what we're talking about here and why it's important to understand precious metals. Now, this is weird. Husband of House Judiciary Democrat received $700,000 from the Ukraine under investigation by the FBI. I've got an article. So here we got a judiciary member, Democrat, husband receiving almost $1 million from somebody over in the Ukraine, corrupt, but we have him on the Judiciary Committee for impeachment. Okay, hello. Can you say something ain't right here? I got that article. I'll talk about it. CNN can't believe its own poll that impeachment support is collapsing. Ladies and gentlemen, everything's collapsing on this impeachment, even with the letter to Pelosi that Trump wrote. To have it in the archives of history is now being mocked, downplayed, made fun of, because when you do that, when you ignore, make fun, insult, attack, you know you're over the target. You're getting flack. If you're a pilot dropping bombs and nobody's shooting at you, I think you're at the wrong spot. That's the old catchphrase. You know, if you're not getting flack, you're not on target. Trump's been getting flack because he's been on target ever since he's been running for office. He's got over 280 something plus accomplishments, and he's got just recently before the end of the year some accomplishments as well. I got a call here about that article.
How much time we have?
I don't know, about a minute or two.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me see what we got here. We got
We have a woman caller. I'm so excited.
Brenda, I'm so happy and glad that you're listening, and thanks for calling. If we go to a break, we'll hold you if we're not finished, and we'll carry on the other side. But go ahead. What's going on?
Okay, well, I was just going to let y'all know, I had read somewhere last night, and I can't remember where, but the deal with that girl that was kidnapped when she was walking with her mother, that was a setup. She set it up with some friends.
You know, man, when I was looking at that, I'm saying to myself, is this going to be another one of those deals because they want attention? But I didn't follow up with it. I just read the initial story. So go ahead. Where'd you get all this information from?
I can't remember. I saw it. It was on a news release. Y'all can look it up. But she was upset with her mother and wasn't happy at home or something.
Well, she ain't gonna be happy now when she sees her mother again. I'll tell you that.
That's right.
That was a genuine freak out by the mother.
Oh yeah. Well, who wouldn't? I mean, what mother wouldn't?
And you see, that's why, Brenda. That's why I initially, when I looked at it, I would go, this looks pretty bad because the mother. I mean, you can't really hide that kind of emotion. But when I first started reading, I go, "Is this one of those?" But then I watched the video. I go, "No, it looks pretty good." You know.
The Washington Post has the story of New York teen reportedly faked her kidnapping on a Bronx street.
Yeah.
Mother ran after her,
Yeah.
briefly grappling with one of the men, but he yanked her out of the way. The scene was captured on a
Pushed her
grainy
down or
camera.
something.
Well, Brenda, thank you
Yeah.
very much, because what that does, it allows me to rip up that article and make room for something else.
Well, I have something else too, though.
Sure, go ahead.
No, and the deal about the guy in Walmart.
Email me.
I think a lot. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Hold up, Brent. I think
We're over time,
Yeah,
so
we're going to hold you
you'll
over
have to
there.
put you on
so-
hold.
That's fine.
We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin. Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here, December 18th. I get so excited about the call of the story that I forgot to do something. We ran a little long. So I got Brenda on the line, and we're going to recap a little bit of the conversation here. If you want to be on the show, give us a call at 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio, and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. Now, Brenda, I got you back on the line, and I kind of cut us off through a commercial, but we were talking just to recap real fast. The story about the 13-year-old being abducted was fake. She set it up because she was upset with her parents. And Susan and I were just talking. If I happen to be on the street there, it's nighttime, and a kidnapping's in progress, and I'm concealed carry, and I'm going to get involved, you would have had a few potentially non-walking individuals. Very dangerous.
Exactly. And then that girl would be charged with murder because that's ridiculous.
That's
and
right.
Kids, it all boils down to the lack of accountability that society has gotten to where we don't, not we meaning me personally, but
I know what you mean.
We just don't hold our kids responsible for anything.
Well, that's what I was.
For
That's
their
what I said, is
consequences.
They need to. They need to put her in jail for a little while so she has a little bit of a scare, because she can't go around doing that stuff.
No.
Now, Brenda, you had brought up another topic.
Yeah. The other thing was the deal about the guy in Walmart was, I think a lot of that lends itself to our lack of mental health support. you know, I'm not saying, you know, that's the reason he did it. I'm just saying that our mental health in America is not.
Well, Brenda, let's discuss this.
supported.
When you're saying mental health, you mean a lot of these homeless people are seriously mentally deficient in the sense they've got a mental challenge, or is it they just lazy, they had a bad opportunity, or they got on drugs? Because I don't think taking the drugs is mental health. I think maybe you had a mental health problem, but go ahead.
No, yeah, and I'm not talking about the drugs. That's a whole other issue. I'm talking about the lack of mental health support for our vets, for, you know, a lot of these people, you know, with these mass shootings. And I mean, it all comes down to people who have issues are falling through the cracks, and something needs to be done about it.
What do you think is causing these people to do these mass shootings? I'll give you an example of what I'm trying to get at, and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
We have a lot of people who can't identify with themselves, and there's a lot of people who are doing transgender, or they're doing incels, involuntary celibate people. They're lonely and they can't socialize, and they think that this is one of their big moments that they can have some recognition. What do you think?
Well, you know, every bit of it starts in the home, and the breakdown of our families, the lack of God in our lives as a society. I mean, it all is connected, and I think that, you know, so many of our morals and standards have just fallen through. I know that particular issue has touched our family personally, and it's difficult because you love that person, and, you know, but at the same time you won't condone or accept the lifestyle they're leading, and it makes it very difficult to not condone it but still love them, and pray that they'll come back around.
Well, I mean, we say that.
You know, I think a lot of it is just our society and the lack of God in our society and the breakdown of the family. Because this kind of stuff did not happen when the families were still solid and when we still depended on God in our society.
Now go back in time, and can you figure out a time that this started falling apart? Back in the years, can you figure out around what time frame that was? Because all we got to do is go back.
The 60s.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the 60s.
Because if you look at the 50s, we're coming off of World War II, into the 50s, booming economies, education's the highest it's been, so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, the 60s hit, and from that point on to where we are now has been our downfall.
Yeah.
And I got no problems with freedoms and all this kind of stuff, but when you start taking God out of the picture, we're screwed.
That's right. That's exactly right. It all boils down to that. You're exactly right.
Well, mark that down in the calendar. It's approximately 8:23 Central Time. Matt was right. Put it down. It doesn't happen too often, Brenda.
And so was Brenda. That doesn't happen often either.
There you go. Well, Brenda, I appreciate you listening.
Admiration
Thanks for your call. You brought us some great points. Thanks for the tip on that 13-year-old. It just brings up another angle of it. So I appreciate the call. Anybody else want to give us a call? It's 866-89-LOGIC. And 866-895-6442. So the abduction in New York City is a hoax. And I swear to you, when I was looking, I go, my initial thought was, is it one of these fake ones? But then I saw the video, and the mother was freaking out too much for me to think, oh, well, and I just never followed up on it. But thank you, Brenda, again. Okay.
Well, I wanted to add something about accountability, because taking God out of everything, God is... If you are a believer in God, you also believe that you are accountable to God, and it creates a accountability that is not human accountability, but that there are greater things, you know, in the world than you, and you are then accountable to God, and so we've taken accountability out in a big way too, not only just the folks in California that are, you know, trying to keep the laws, you know, but all accountability is going away.
Another thing, too.
You can do whatever you want.
God has been replaced with other gods.
Yes.
People are very into their goods, into their services, into their status, into their lifestyles, and has
competing
replaced,
with one another as far as stuff goes.
and it has replaced God. And it says in there, "Come back to me first," and all these other things will be given to you. We don't need all this stuff. We need Him. I don't want to preach, but I am.
Yeah, and I mean,
So
I
that's
just think
the way
we need
is,
it.
you know? But anyway,
And the family is all you've got. I mean, you may have not a very good family, but you do need to try to love them.
tell you what, since we brought that up, I like to do a devotional every day. I do it every day, Monday through Friday, to a long list of people. I've been doing it for years. And today was no different, although I was a little blurry-eyed this morning. And I've been blessed to be able to do it on the show as well. So if you're not into this kind of thing, stick your fingers in your ear, lower the volume. I'll be done in about, let's say, 80 seconds instead of my normal 60. It reads, "Good morning. There's a time for all of us when we just give it up, when we realize we just have to trust the Lord. Most of the time, it's when our backs are against the wall. Our ways are not His ways. Our thoughts are not His thoughts. So most of the time, our solutions to problems seem to just cause more problems. We need to wait on the Lord and accept His will for our situation." And I get this from Exodus chapter 14, verses 13 and 14. It reads, "Moses answered the people, 'Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today you'll never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still.'" I've got a couple of quotes here, and one is from Tony Evans. "This is a reminder that when you're boxed in by a dilemma, you must trust in the Lord. Look with the eyes of faith to see Him working through your circumstances." That's Tony Evans. And the other, "When obstacles and trials seem like prison walls to be, I do the little I can do and leave the rest to Thee." That's from Frederick W. Faber. And my last quote is, "Have a blessed day." So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Plant the seed. Let the good Lord do the watering. Let's see if it takes root, grows up something fruitful. Don't cram it down anybody's throat. And you can take your fingers out of your ears and raise up the volume. I'm going to do quotes as well. If you can tell me who the author of these quotes are, give me a call here at the studio at 866-895-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. And I've got, 2, 4, 6, about 7 quotes here. Number 1, nothing ends nicely. That's why it ends. 2, I love kids. I was a kid myself once. 3, I'm passionate about learning. I'm passionate about life. Next is, I love what I do. I take great pride in what I do, and I can't do something halfway, 3/4, 9/10. If I'm going to do something, I go all the way. One more before the break. I always look for a challenge and something that's different. So we're going to take a break. If you know the author of those quotes, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC. 866-89-LOGIC. Get you on the air and get you a nice little prize. See you on the other side.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years, as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today is December 18th, 2019. How many days left, Susan? 6 days till Christmas?
Oh, it's one week from today.
Do you count today as the day? Yeah, I guess so, right? That'd be
Yeah.
7 days. 7 days till Christmas?
7 days.
7 days till Christmas. I hope everybody's got their stuff ready. I know you don't, because I keep seeing people going in and out of stores buying stuff.
Are
at the
you
last
happy about Christmas?
About the commercial side of Christmas? No, not at all. I hate
just
Christmas.
Christmas in general.
Christmas in general, yeah. The birth of Christ, absolutely. Without him, I'd be screwed. You know, think about it. So yeah, I'm extremely happy about it, and I'm very happy about Easter too, because if they had killed him and he didn't get back up, we would have been a big world of heat, right? Okay,
Easter's really more important, but you have to be born to be dead. So
to be brought back. That's right. Okay, there's your history lesson on religion. Okay, I was talking about some quotes. We had somebody call in, but you know who it was, so he's got to call back after 9, and so I'm going to read them again. If you can tell me who the author of these quotes are. And you're right, we'll get you a prize. I'll start from the bottom where I didn't do, and then I'll repeat some from the top. I always look for a challenge and something that's different. I would live with all my sisters if I could. We've always been very close, my sisters and me. I disagree with people who think you learn more from getting beat up than you do from winning. That's an interesting way to look at it. I guess this person hasn't really lost much. And some of his other quotes, and I just gave away the male aspect of it. Nothing ends nicely. That's why it ends. I love kids. I was a kid myself once. I'm passionate about learning. I'm passionate about life. And this one here should be a a helpful giveaway. I love what I do. I take great pride in what I do, and I can't do something halfway, 3/4, 9/10. If I'm going to do something, I go all the way. So give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC. Tell me who you think it is, and we'll take it from there. I saw this. We all know what's going on with the Ukraine, right? With the impeachment in the Ukraine. How supposedly Trump in the transcript shows that supposedly he was asking for a quid pro quo. And thinking, okay, you read it. I don't get it. But here I have an article that says, husband of House Judiciary Democrat receives $700,000 from Ukrainian under investigation by FBI. A Ukrainian oligarch reportedly paid $700,000 to the husband of Representative Debbie Marcassel-Powell, Democrat from Florida, who sits on the House Judiciary Committee that recently drafted 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump. Did you catch that? Who sits on the House Judiciary Committee that recently drafted 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump, basically about the Ukraine. In the 2 years leading up to the election, in 2018, her husband, Robert Powell, made nearly $1 million working as a lawyer for Ukrainian oligarch Ihor Kolomoisky.
Ihor Kolomoisky. He's a billionaire, by the way.
He kind of looks like a guy from a James Bond movie, who has previously been accused of contract killings and embezzlement. Say his name again?
Ihor Kolomoisky.
One of Ukraine's
I'm going to show
men.
up at your front door, and I want you to, I'll give you $1 million, but you must vote this way.
You must do what I tell you.
That's right.
Is currently being investigated by the FBI for alleged money laundering. With Marcassel-Powell voting to impeach President Trump on Friday, or actually going to be today sometime, her husband's lucrative financial ties to the Ukrainian oligarch who is being investigated by the FBI is an obvious conflict of interest.
No,
really? Additionally, what's his name?
Ihor Kolomoisky
has a vendetta against a Trump lawyer called Rudy Giuliani, who he criticized in the past, saying a big scandal may break out.
I'm going to kill you.
Or it may turn out to be a very clear conspiracy against Biden, whatever. But you've got a woman in there in the Judiciary Committee who's married to somebody making $700,000+ from a guy in the Ukraine who's under investigation. And here we're
Sounds like a mafia guy to me. He is actually a banker that started banking in the early 90s, and now his half of that country is banking with him. And, that's the kind of guy you hire to take out whoever you want,
Okay.
I mean, and,
well, look, because of things
money
like that,
laundering is just the minor things that he's done that
it's the cleaner side of what
and
he does.
isn't this the way the Democrats have been doing business? I've been saying this for 4 months now since I've been here.
You got a
This
video
is the way
of
the
Biden
Democrats
promoting it.
have been doing business since the 90s, and it's okay for them. It's okay for them to make millions of dollars on Ukraine, but it's not okay if somebody comes along and gets voted in and wants to shine a light on all this stuff.
What do you think is more devastating, a written document or an actual video showing somebody like Biden doing what he did, holding back funds?
No, it's
the
the video, yeah, because it's that guy.
So here you got Biden just promoting it boastfully and with pride.
Yeah, he's really
and
he
he's
is happy
denying
about it,
and he's denying it. And yet you have Trump who's dealing with Ukraine, and it's in written transcripts, and it's not a problem. There's no problem there. But they want to dissect this guy.
They do business that way with these people for a long time, and it's natural for them, and it's okay for them.
Okay,
but
look,
it's not.
We're about
for
to
the
take a
other
break,
guy.
and when we come back, we're going to go over some poll data that shows that the support for impeachment is collapsing. We all know this. Then we're going to talk about the letter Trump wrote to Pelosi, and Katie Hill. Remember her? Well, she says it's time to impeach the MF. Isn't that classy? We'll be back on the other side of the break. We'll talk some more. Give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today is December 18, 2019. Matt, your host here, with Susan Sturl. Lots going on. I wanted to make a note. It's also, we're going to be spotlighting. ANC Firearms has a product spotlight. It's the Mossberg Shockwave. It's called the Nightstick.
It's pretty cool looking.
It is. If you're streaming us live, if you want to take a look at what it looks like, stream us live at logicnation.us and check it out. You can probably hear it. It's a very nice firearm, and it's great for home defense, and it looks nice, and I got it because it reminded me of the shotgun I used to carry when I was in the military doing quick reactionary platoon. They would slap one of these bad boys on your shoulder with a bayonet, 5 rounds of buckshot that was duct taped together. So
I
you
have
couldn't
one,
have
but
access
it's
to it.
the 410 version. It's all black. It's not as pretty as that one.
Anyway, it's very
really
nice. We'll talk
cool.
about it. We'll talk about it later on in the show, but right now, I'll tell you what, Susan, tell everybody about Logic Fest real quick.
Logic Fest is at the end of January, January 24th, 25th, and 26th. And it's a great time to come together, like-minded folks. We're going to get together on the Friday night. We're going to have a meal on Friday night and Saturday night. You can call in or call Windcrest Inn and Suites, Sunset Inn and Suites, Econo Lodge, Baristas Guest Quarters in Fredericksburg for those nights, and you'll get special rates. Just say that you're going to Logic Fest, and they'll give you the special rates for those times, for those dates. Ed and Con will do the show on Saturday morning, and you can check it out. You can sit in and watch. It's kind of a fun thing to watch people, on the radio talking, and you might be able to
You might be
jump
grabbed
in
over
there.
to the microphone. That's right. Give us
Exactly.
your
You
10
have
cents
free
worth.
breakfasts in the morning in the lobby at Windcrest Inn and Suites. Lots of good food. 8 to 10 a.m. is the Ed Laughlin Show, and then 12 to 2 is Common Sense with Con. And then dinner at the Allstat Brewery. There's midnight country dancing at the Crossroads. There's lots of good shopping. There's a
There's a knick-knack store down the street in the middle.
knick-knack store down the street that Matt doesn't know the name
But
of.
Shane knows what I'm talking about.
But he doesn't know the name of it either. And but you can go.
They got,
there's
stuff,
a lot
they got
of
stuff like Texas-shaped mouse traps. They've got metal signs. They got little
a
knickknacks.
Texas mouse trap.
Yeah, they got
That's pretty cool.
they got armadillos upside down, drinking down a brewski type of statues.
Yeah,
that
I've
kind of
seen
stuff.
those. I gotcha. The manly thing.
Who doesn't want an armadillo
for your
sucking
man
down a
cave?
brewski in your
Things
living
for your
room?
man
you know?
cave.
Okay, so lots of things to do for Logic Fest. So give us a call and make reservations now because we're gonna have a good time down there. It's gonna be a lot of people.
It'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. I was looking at the way Democrats talk, and let me take that back. I take those words back. I'm watching people being interviewed who are Democrats about the impeachment. And when you try to get an answer from the people about what did he actually do, they stammer, and all they can come up with are things of what he said that they didn't like, had nothing to do with politics. Or if it did have to do with politics, it had nothing to do with breaking a law. It had to do with personal opinion of the president. You don't impeach a president because you don't like him. You impeach him because he breaks laws. They've been trying to impeach this guy for how long now? And they keep downsizing what the charges are because there is no criminal laws being broken. So you got, just as an example here, you got disgraced Democratic Representative Katie Hill. She says, it's time to impeach the MFR. The former Democratic Congresswoman who resigned amid an ethics investigation into inappropriate behavior with a staffer appeared at Los Angeles impeachment rally and let her feelings be known. This is a solemn day. But it's time to impeach the mother effer, okay? And that just goes to show the class of the types of people that we're dealing with. So if you take that expression of enthusiasm, you can put it across the gamut of a lot of people out there who are expressing their feelings. It all goes down to emotion. There's no basis of fact or truth in the matter. Now you're telling me I've got an actual winner?
We have a winner, and it's not, we have a winner.
We have a winner. Okay, let me get Matt on the line here and see if he actually knows. Matt, welcome to the show.
Yes,
Thanks for listening.
he does actually know.
And who do you think it is, Matt?
It's Tom Cruise.
And what gave it away?
The internet.
Yeah, I'd almost say you're a Democrat because everybody goes Google's the answer, but no, you're not. So.
Yeah.
Well, I got a $5 off candy and more in the Temple of Mall. I've got a coffee bag. I've got pens. I got pill boxes. What do you want, buddy?
I'll take the $5 gift card.
You got it, man. We'll have it up front at the office there with Sissy. You know where Ed's office is?
All right. Yes.
Okay, we'll have it up front for you. I appreciate you calling. Thanks for listening, and you got it right. So we're going to take a break, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
All right, thanks.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host here with Susan Sturl. Number here, if you want to be on the show, is 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio and Instagram at Logic Nation Radio. YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going on. I got a lot of articles here. I've got some audio clips, and I want to make a couple of comments because I know some people may say, oh, he's getting impeached. But I'm looking at the upside of things here because I know this guy. I don't know him personally. I know him from a long history of seeing him and listening to him, interviews, because I am from New York. I've seen him up there. I've read his books. I just have an understanding to some degree of how this guy ticks. This impeachment, although he does not want it, he would prefer not to have it, it's not going to affect his ability to run this country. It's going to be a battle scar. And like I said before, Ronald Reagan was very important to be elected in 1980 because he's coming off of Carter's terrible presidency. We needed somebody like Reagan, smooth, educated, clean, with finesse to be able to get the message across and take us out of where we were to where we needed to go. Trump is the same way in this time. The way this country is, we need somebody like Trump because although it appears it's a 50-50 split as the people liking him and people not liking him, it doesn't matter whether you like it. It's like having children. It doesn't matter if you feel bad about disciplining your child. It's necessary sometimes. This country, it's necessary to get things back on track. And Trump has an incredible record in the last 3 years of what he's done. Susan's got like 4 pages of stuff that he's done. We're not going to read it right now, but and also in this year, while going through all this impeachment crap, all the things he's accomplished, and I had that somewhere I can't find. I got too much paperwork here. But we've got the polls showing that impeachment's dropping in favoritism, that people aren't liking it. Democrats who hold the seats that are in question are getting a lot of heat from the constituents saying, look, if you're going for this impeachment deal, don't be looking for a job next time around because we're not liking this. And I've got some articles on that. So let me read a couple things. I got an audio clip as well. And I'll read this quick article fast. It says, CNN in disbelief over own polls showing impeachment support collapsing among Democrats. It says, host Allison Camerota first downplayed the implications of the CNN poll, noting that Democrat support for impeachment has softened a little bit, quote unquote. It didn't soften a little bit. It dropped from like 90% down to 77%.
Just like their ratings.
That's right. Everything's dropping. The approval of the impeachment is dropping. It just hasn't hit quick enough, and that's why they're speeding up the impeachment, because they want to get it done. Why? I have no idea, because it's just going to be shooting himself in the foot, both feet. All right, so the polls are showing it. I'm going to play a 2-minute clip here about the letter to Pelosi, and it's going to read some of the points on it and then her response to it. So let's listen to this, because I want to get this in before the break.
Day 1062 of the Trump administration on this, the eve of the House vote to impeach Donald Trump. The House will start debate in the morning, and at the end of the day, we'll vote on 2 articles, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Tonight, the Associated Press and Washington Post both report the Democrats have the votes. All Republicans are expected to vote as a block against both articles. Today, the House Rules Committee met to set the terms for tomorrow's floor session, calling for 6 hours of debate on the articles. No amendments can be offered. Earlier today, the president was asked about the situation he finds himself in.
And Mr. President, do you take any responsibility for the fact that you're about to be impeached?
No, I don't take any, zero, to put it mildly.
Today, Trump also wrote a letter, 6 pages, to Speaker Pelosi, attacking her, condemning her caucus for carrying out the impeachment inquiry. For example, he writes, quote, "You have cheapened the importance of the very ugly word impeachment. You are offending Americans of faith by continually saying, 'I pray for the president,' when you know this statement is not true. You are the ones interfering in America's elections. You are the ones subverting America's democracy. You are the ones obstructing justice. More due process was afforded to those accused in the Salem witch trials." A White House official tells NBC News the president came up with the idea for the letter and then relied on aides to draft it while directing the process. The official adds the counsel's office did suggest some changes. Some were made, others rejected. To be clear, in part because it contains...
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be hitting a break in a minute, but Pelosi thinks it's a sick letter that he wrote. I think it's a fantastic letter he wrote, because it's going to mark in the history books his written rebuttal to what is going on. People can't change it, sway it, pervert it. It's written there. You can read it. So people can make their own choice up instead of the news taking it, chewing it up, spitting it out, and you're having digested food for people to try to figure out instead of getting the facts from the people who said it. We're going to take a top of the hour break. When we come back, we're going to have my special guest, Franklin Sanders from The Money Changer. We're talking precious metals, extremely important. Get your note-taking materials ready. See you on the other side.
Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today's December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host here. I'm with Susan Sturl, the pusher of paint, the poet of photography, the rocket of rock and roll. I've got callers on the line. I've actually got Gary on the line, and I've got my special guest, Franklin Sanders, with the Money Changer, and we're going to get to him in just a minute. But I want to get Gary on the line because he's following up to a previous story we talked about, the Ukraine, $700,000 being paid to the husband of the Florida Democratic representative. So let me get Gary on and see what he's got to say to that. And I appreciate you listening, Gary. What's on your mind? Talk to me, buddy.
Good morning. Say, you mentioned the FBI is investigating.
Yeah.
Isn't that a big laugh or something wrong with that?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to do that, if they're checking other people out, and here you got the husband who's getting close to $1 million of money from, what's his name, Susan?
Igor Koloninsky.
She's got it down.
Kolonoisky or something like that.
It's kind of a joke.
Kolomoisky.
And the wife is in the Judiciary Committee writing up impeachment. So what do you say to that?
You know, I think the media, I was watching a little bit of news this morning. It actually looked like she could keep herself from not laughing. I mean, it was just so funny, but she's going with everybody else that he's already guilty. But you can just watch him. I mean, it's just nothing but a big joke.
You know, I've mentioned this quite a bit, and some people have commented on it about how I study and teach body language, and I do that. I'm watching here, and the people here in the studio have seen me really up close to the screen when I'm watching videos because I'm watching eyes, the blinking of eyes, the looking of the face, the shrugging of the shoulders, the slouched shoulders, the tapping, a nervous tap, whatever it may be. And when you're telling me that she's kind of smiling, she's probably going, I can't believe I'm getting away with this crap. You know?
I know.
It's unbelievable.
Another thing, Hoover's probably turning over in his grave, I think.
Well, the FBI might be run by the Ukrainians, you know? I mean, Igor Kolomoisky might be running the FBI.
He's a billionaire.
You never know.
He could probably do it. Well, good point, Gary. That's a good point. Thanks for noticing it. Anything else you got to say?
No, that's it. I mean, other than I'm just getting tired of this whole mess.
Well, I'll tell you what. What I want you to do is get a note, paper, and pencil, and get ready to take some notes for my next guest. We're talking precious metals, gold, how things work. Very important. I hope everybody out there has got their note-taking materials ready because I've been mentioning this for quite a while, talking about it. I've known about it. I got an article that I'm going to read, a couple pieces on it to get you set up, and then we're going to get Franklin Sanders, the man of the hour, to talk about it. So I appreciate your call, Gary. Let me get him on the line and get this thing rolling, okay?
All right. Have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Sanders, welcome to the program. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thanks for the invitation.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. Why don't you stand by for a minute? Let me set this up. I've been talking about it off and on for weeks, and I mentioned it yesterday that you were coming on. But I've got an article. I've had a whole bunch of articles about central banks getting gold. And you never hear central banks talking about getting gold. It's all digital currency and fiat monies and all this kind of stuff. So I would just want to get the audience set up real quick. Then I'm going to introduce you the proper way so everybody knows who you are. But I've got an article here that says, Central Bank issues stunning warning. If entire system collapses, gold will be needed to start over. And a couple points would be, it's not just tinfoil blogs who for the past 11 years have been warning that a monetary reset is inevitable and the only viable fallback option once trust and faith in a fiat is lost is a gold standard. Something, central banks are joining the doom parade now too. Now look, I've been talking about this stuff almost 15 years ago, 16, 17 years ago, a long time, about how it's so important. I cannot predict when the fiat currency, the United States dollar, is going to collapse. But if you go back in history, every currency has failed. The United States is no different. Although we're seeing great, stock markets, the whole works, sooner or later, somehow, in some way, fashion, or form, it's going to collapse. And when it does, being the people who print the money, it's going to affect a lot of people across the globe. So I want to get Mr. Franklin Sanders' opinions on precious metals and how it affects it and why central banks are so concerned with getting gold at this point. And let me introduce who my guest is. Franklin Sanders was born in Arkansas, grew up in Memphis, and after 2 years he retired from the U.S. Army and attended graduate school at Tulane at the Free University of Berlin. I was stationed there. In 1980, Mr. Sanders opened a gold and silver brokerage and began publishing his newsletter, The Money Changer. He has written or co-authored 4 books, and in 1993, Mr. Sanders wrote Silver Bonanza, How to Profit from the Coming Bull Market in Silver. He still brokers silver and gold outside Tennessee and is ordained presbyter in a Reformed Episcopal Church and pastors Christ Hope Church in West Point, Tennessee. His wife, Susan, died in October 2016, but he still lives near 5 of their 7 children and 15 grandchildren in Dogwood Mudhole, Tennessee, which is not near anywhere. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sanders. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing just fine.
Well, great. Look, I'm so glad I was able to get a hold of you, and I'm so glad your schedule permitted you to come on the show, because I think it's really important that we talk about precious metals, because there's a lot of people, I think, when the time comes and we do have financial turmoil, that there's going to be a lot of people who are hurting. Do you want to address this opening conversation in any form or fashion that could get us going here?
Well, yeah, let me take off a little bit different direction. If you go back 5,000 years in history, you'll see that there's a cycle that repeats, and that cycle is a cycle where debt grows up. And it's not new. None of this is new. You have to understand that. And in the United States today, the banks have blown up the biggest debt bubble in the history of the world. So what happens is you get a debt bubble, you get overproduction, you get the panic, and then you get a long depression following, where all of that stuff that's been built that shouldn't have been built is cleansed out of the economy. So that's where we are today. And instead of letting the cleansing take place in 2008, they propped up all the rotten banks and other rotten institutions. And so we're still dealing with it today. They're still keeping the bubble going.
So initially, Mr. Sanders, what you're saying is we should have collapsed some time ago, but because we print the money, we're able to kick the can further down the road.
For the present.
Okay. All right.
For the present.
Well, based on your history and your experience, what do you see as the outlook of our economy, our dollar, in the present and the near future?
Well, if you've ever watched a flock of birds in flight, you know how they all turn at one time?
Yes.
That's what that's crowd behavior. And it's very difficult to predict crowd behavior. It's difficult to predict when the realizers are going to turn around, turn and look around and say, hey, this isn't going to work. This pyramid's coming down, and I'm getting out of here. And when that happens, they precipitate a panic out of the financial markets. And really, what your readers need to understand is gold and silver are not driven by simple supply and demand. They're driven by monetary demand. Monetary demand is that demand that comes in at the margin and really drives that price up crazily. And
all right, Mr. Sanders, let me do this, Mr. Sanders. We're going to take a break, and we can follow up on that topic when we come back from the break. So stand by. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Petros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin. Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host here. I've got Franklin Sanders, the money changer, on the line, and he's discussing precious metals, gold, silver, all that, and how things are working. And Mr. Sanders, I've got you back on the line here. We've got some callers who have called in, and we're going to have about 9 minutes for this segment. So what I'd like to do is follow up with what you were talking about before the break came up, and then we'll pause and get a couple of our callers to ask some questions, if that's okay with you, okay?
Sure, that's great. I was trying to answer your question, what's going to happen? And I wanted to explain that it's not physical demand and supply that drives gold and silver. It's monetary demand. And monetary demand is confidence in the financial system. So gold and silver work opposite to the financial system. When there's confidence in the financial system like we have today, where people are buying stocks and they think they're making money and so forth, then they buy stocks instead of gold and silver. And it's just the opposite. When they lose confidence in the financial system, they want to go to something that's ultimately liquid, and that's gold and silver. So really, demand for gold is determined by confidence in the financial system.
So right now is the best time to buy gold, per se, because if the stock market's so high and people are thinking, my gosh, it's going great, gold wouldn't be as high as it should be if the faith in the market was down, right?
Absolutely. But now you're talking about something that's contrary to human nature.
That's right.
People love to buy a rising market.
Well, what we need to do is take all the profits you're making off your stocks and apply a portion of it to precious metals. Now, Mr. Sanders, because of the sake of time here, I'm going to put you on hold and let one of our callers ask the question, and I'll get you back on, okay?
Right.
All right, I got Jonathan on line one. And if for some reason, Mr. Sanders, I disconnect you, please call back. I got Jonathan on the line. He's got a question. Jonathan, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind for Mr. Sanders?
Hey, my question for Mr. Sanders is, I purchase a silver whenever I can, but how do I purchase silver without having to pay the premium? It's kind of ridiculous that silver would be at like $15 an ounce spot, but a 1 ounce bar is going to cost you $20. So what can we do to purchase silver without paying the super high premium? Because we're paying 25% to, just for the right to get it, basically.
All right, well, let me put you on hold, Jonathan, in case I have to come back to you. And let me get Mr. Sanders back on and see what he's got to say to that. Mr. Sanders, did you hear the question? Yeah, I don't know if I lost him. Hold on. All right, everybody, I got phone problems. I think I lost Mr. Sanders. Mr. Sanders, you there? No, I think I lost him, so we'll wait for him to call back. But that's a good question because you always wonder, you got spot prices for precious metals, and you're thinking, okay, well, that's what it costs to buy. Well, no, it doesn't, because there's a whole bunch of people in the works that make the price go up. And a lot of the times, I mean, from my experience, getting coinage, U.S. coinage, is the best way when it comes to silver because it's easily divisible. I think it's a 90+% rate of silver in it, and people recognize it all over the world. It's just an easy way to divide it up, and it helps out a lot in the sense of trading with people. Mr. Sanders, are you there?
I'm right here.
Okay, go ahead. We had a phone problem, but did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard the question, and it was a good one because your reader is going exactly to the heart of how to buy silver and gold. That is, you always want to pay the least premium you can pay, premium being however much you have to pay over the metal value. I suspect what he needs to do is to find a better dealer, somebody like my son's Volunteer Precious Metals, which he can reach at 888-661-4093. Somebody that'll give him a better price. If he goes to local dealers, he's going to pay, generally speaking, you pay a higher price.
Well, let's go over that. Let's go over that again because I was turned on to you by somebody who I trust very much, who has done their homework and has basically said you're the guy to go to. That's how I came to be associated with you. So go ahead and reiterate again who you are, how people can get a hold of you, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, well, for years and years and years, I traded physical gold and silver, and what's happened is I'm not really retired, but my sons have started a company to do the same thing called Volunteer Precious Metals, and they operate. They've worked with me for more than 20 years, so they know how things are supposed to be run, and they know what is the best for the customer, and that's what you've got to find as a dealer is your interest at heart. And who wants to do what's good for you, not what's good for him. So necessarily. So if I were, the first thing I look at when I want to make an investment in gold or silver, the first question I ask is what has the lowest premium? So whatever has the lowest premium is what I'm going to buy. Another question I ask is what's the most divisible? You mentioned 90% silver coin. 90% silver coin is my favorite way to buy gold and silver. It's way cheaper than something like American Eagles. I can't understand why people buy those things. They'll pay $2.50, $3 over spot, when right now you can buy 90% coin for maybe 40 cents over spot. So it just doesn't make sense to buy high premium. And here's the reason. There's a market axiom. Over time, premium always disappears. Let me repeat that because it needs to be memorized. Over time, premium always disappears. I don't care what the coin is. Over time, premium always disappears. We've seen that happen in the last 4
Mr.
years.
Sanders, clarify what you mean by that because the increase in the value of the metal, that it gets eaten up into the profit where you don't know it. Is that what you're meaning, or is it the other way around?
No, what I mean is this. Let's take those American Eagles, okay, and let's say they have a $3 premium on them, and the price of silver is $5. So it's a huge part of the premium is a huge part of the price that you pay. Well, as the price goes up and the cost of silver gets higher, the market tends to grind down that premium so that the premium disappears. Well, let me give you a better example. United States gold coins minted before 1935. In the last 4 years, those coins, just say, have gone from an average premium of 40% over their gold content to basically nothing today, maybe 4 or 5%. So premium is always going to disappear because premium gets more expensive. You can't maintain a percentage premium as the price of gold and silver rise.
Gotcha.
So that's why you always, it's real easy to figure out. Look at what you're paying and divide the cost by the content. For instance, with 90% coin, let's say you're paying $10 an ounce. $10 for a dollar's worth face value. Well, it has 0.715 ounces of silver in it. So if you divide 10 by 0.715, then what you're paying is $13.99 an ounce. So many things are just around 1 ounce, so it's an easy calculation to make. But what you always want to do is buy the cheapest, the lowest premium you can buy, consistent with liquidity. In other words, don't buy something that's so rare and exotic that you'll have trouble selling it.
Right.
For instance, you can buy Iranian Pahlavi coins, but if you ain't in Iran, you're going to have a hard time selling them.
But aren't you paying a higher premium on something that's really not worth that much? For example, if you get a gold coin and it's minted on a certain date and looks pristine, so on and so forth, but gold is gold is gold, you're buying collector value as compared to if you need it for just its intrinsic value aspect of it, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
You're not a collect. You got to figure out what you are, right? You can't get distracted and try to be two things at once.
That's right. And I'm primarily, based on our conversations before, I'm primarily a prepper. So we're doing it in an aspect of prepping, getting just in case you need it for investment, so on and so forth. Now, look, before the end of this break, I want to get Raymond on the line. Let me put you on hold, Mr. Sanders. He's got a question,
okay,
and hopefully we won't have a phone problem again. So stand by. All right, Raymond, I got you on the line, buddy. What's going on in your mind?
Yes, sir. I was going to mention something to you concerning gold, and silver. Well, primarily gold. When people think of gold, they think of, jewelry. But really, in perspective, people don't understand that gold is used for components, different electronic components. And when these components are in demand, is that the reason why sometimes the gold prices go up higher? A lot of components use gold to, the circuitry and all this. You have a good day, sir.
Thanks, Raymond. That's a good question, guys. I want to have a follow-up question to that as well. And Mr. Sanders, did you hear the question?
Yes.
Okay. The part B to that question would be is, if we keep using precious metals a little bit here and a little bit there and all this electronics, and then it gets thrown in the trash piles, what does that do for the collection of gold? It gets dispersed. It's almost going to get to a point where you can never get it anymore. Okay, I've paused.
Well, okay. First thing is physical supply and demand don't really drive the price of gold and silver. As long as physical supply and demand don't change radically, and I mean tremendously radically, they're not going to really influence the price of gold and silver dramatically.
Okay, Mr. Sanders, let me take a break and hold that thought. When we come back, we'll continue on with it. We're going to take a break. We'll see you on the other side with Franklin Sanders.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in names and numbers.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hey, y'all. Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
It's the most wonderful time.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, December 18th. Matt, your host here. We've got Franklin Sanders, the money changer, on the air. And Mr. Sanders, your mic is hot. Stand by. If you want to be part of the show, give us a call at 866-89-LOGIC. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social medias at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio, and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. Now, Mr. Sanders, we've been talking about gold, and you were making a point before the break. I would like you to finish that point, but we've also were discussing here in the studio about how one of the takeaway points that you've made is that it's not based on its availability. It's based on the faith of the dollar, which makes the money go up and down. And then we also offshooted to how the price of gold is really suppressed, because if you were to put gold to equal the money that's out there, it would jack the price of an ounce of gold tremendously high to cover the trillions of dollars that we got out there. If I said anything wrong, clarify, and welcome back, Mr. Sanders.
Okay, well, let me just make a point. Let me derive from what you just said about how little gold and silver there is out there. And you also asked the question earlier, are gold and silver being used up industrially? There's a general answer is this. Nobody realizes how rare gold and silver are compared to the whole world. And the prices of gold and silver in these years, for about the last 150 years, has been diluted and driven down by the amount of fiat money, that is government-created money in circulation, or central bank-created money in circulation.
That's so
nobody is really aware how much lower purchasing power of silver and gold are now than they were in, say, 1850. But what happened when that pendulum swings the other way, there's very little gold and silver. Let me tell you what happened in 2008. There was a financial panic in 2008.
Right.
And in September, the stock market began to crash. The paper dollar began to soar, and that's typical of panics, because in panics, people flee to liquidity, and liquidity means cash. Well, what you wouldn't see, because it wasn't reported anywhere, is in our business, we were covered up. There was a panic in the gold and silver, and there's so little gold and silver that we had to tell people, listen, I'll sell this to you, but you're not going to get it for 6 to 8 weeks, because that's as fast as it can come through the supply chain, because there's so little of it out there. At the same time, the price of silver, the actual price of physical silver now, went to a 50% premium and more over the paper price of silver. Gold didn't do that. Gold only rose about, the premium for physical gold was only about 4 or 5%.
Mr. Sanders, I remember that. It was like $5 an ounce, and then it catapulted almost to $50 an ounce. And then it dropped down to about where it is at now.
You're talking about 1980, but I'm talking about 2008, when the price of silver, the nominal price of silver was, say, $8.80, and the actual price that you had to pay would have been about $13.20, because nobody would sell physical for that price. Mm-hmm. And all of this, in addition to all of this, there has been a concerted government plot. I mean, I have to say conspiracy, but there's a dirty word, but to suppress the price of gold. And the U.S. government has been doing this since the Depression era. The Gold Reserve Act created a unit in the Treasury that had the brief, the statutory brief, to intervene in the currency and gold markets.
Mr. Sanders, I've got a phone log here booking up, and I've got a person who kind of asked this question. Let me get them on so we don't blow past the question, just to make sure we got it fully answered. Let me put you on hold and see what Jay's got to say. Jay, stand by, and you're on with Mr. Sanders. Go ahead, Jay. Thanks for calling. Thanks for listening.
Oh, well, thank you. You pretty much answered the questions that I had was going to ask. But let me ask this. Is that the reason why we outsourced our jobs? I mean, does that trickle down to that? And because of the value of now, the dollar, of course, $3 to cover a dollar, how can you now change that? What is your figure on that?
All right, Jay, we got the calls coming in, so I'm going to go to Mr. Sanders, see what he's got to say. I appreciate your call. And Mr. Sanders, you heard the question. Did it make sense to you? Did you get it all? And can you answer it?
I'm not sure I followed the question. Maybe you could restate it for me.
I'm not really sure if I could either. Hold on one second. Let me see if I got Jay still on the line. No, Jay's gone, but
he was talking about outsourcing our labor to other countries, and the devaluing of the dollar. Does that have anything to do with it? I believe that's what his question was.
Well, relatively speaking, the dollar is strong, relatively speaking, because everybody wants dollars. It's the world's reserve currency. That's been set up since after World War II. The outsourcing really is not because of the dollar. I mean, it helps the United States that it can create money out of thin air that the rest of the world has to use. So that means that the balance of payments difference, that is, when we buy more from the rest of the world than we sell them, doesn't really matter because we can inflate it away. But it does matter because one of these days that's going to stop. But the reason I think the jobs were outsourced was just corporate greed. Corporations went overseas where they could get Chinese workers for 50 cents an hour instead of American workers for $35 an hour.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, and that's a perfect break because we're about to come up to a break, and I've got Rayford on the line. So, Rayford, stand by. We'll have you ask Mr. Sanders your question, and we'll continue on. This is great. Good information. Everybody get your note-taking material because we've got some good info coming out here, and I want you to make sure you write it down so you can remember it. And we'll have Mr. Sanders give his information as to how you can contact him if you have any questions. We'll take a break and see you on the other side.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Arch Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Oh, no, I'm not playing that song. I hate that song. Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host here. I'm with Susan Sturl. If you want to be on the show, we got lots of calls coming in. 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. I'm with Franklin Sanders, the money changer. I've known Mr. Sanders for some time. He was very kind to come onto the program and explain the concepts and dealings of gold and silver, what's good, what's bad, what's not, so on and so forth. Mr. Sanders, thanks again for coming on the show. I've got another call. Is there any points you wanted to finish up from the last break before I take the call from Rayford?
Absolutely. What I was trying to say was there's a very narrow door into gold and silver, very narrow door into those markets. So you can't wait until there's blood running in the streets to say, well, I'll go get some gold and silver now. Besides, if you do that, you're going to pay a lot higher price. The time to buy is when nobody's attention is on the gold and silver market. That's right, like it is right now. But there's so little in the world that it's a big mistake to think, well, anytime I want to, I can just go down and buy.
Well, Mr. Sanders, that brings up my question about when they put it, and Raymond's question, when they're starting to put in all this technology, you're getting, like, let's say a vein of silver or a vein of gold, and they mine it out, and all of a sudden they put it in thousands upon thousands of pieces of equipment, and it gets distributed, worn out, used, and old, and thrown into a trash heap, never to be consolidated again. How does it come back unless the normal natural process develops more? I mean, we're really just throwing it all away, aren't we?
Well, not really. Some of that is always going to be reclaimed and recycled. But there might be a net drain, but that's not the biggest problem we have to deal with right now. The biggest problem you have to deal with is the overall smallness of the market that means that there's not much gold or silver per head of human beings in the world.
Okay. Mr. Sanders, let me put you on hold. I've got Rayford's got a question concerning gold and silver. Let's see what he's got to say, so stand by. All right, Rayford, I'm going to put you on the air, buddy. Thanks for calling. Thanks for listening. What's on your mind?
Okay. The paper SLVs and GLDs on the spider market are being manipulated to control the price of silver and gold. And it seems to me there's a tremendous more or larger amount of paper gold and silver out there. And when they have to cover their shorts, it's going to be a tremendous drive up in the price of physical silver. Is that a valid
Well,
point?
I'll tell you what. I hear what you're saying, and I tell people I hope I'm not saying the wrong thing, but I would not want my hands on certificates. I want it on physical gold. So let me put you on hold, Rayford, and see what he's got to say. Okay, Mr. Sanders, I've got. Did you get to hear the question, and did you understand it? Okay.
Yeah, I heard the question. But the fact is that the gold and silver prices are controlled today by the paper markets, that is, the futures markets. And they've done the same thing with that they've done with fiat money and the central bank has done with the dollar. They've created huge amounts of paper, gold, and silver. That's driven the price down. But at some point that doesn't work. I recur back to what I said about in 2008, the paper price, 50% was a third below the actual physical price. In other words, you had to pay a 50% premium to get physical. I think we'll see that again. I think that'll happen again because that whole system of suppressing the price will come apart. The demand is there for physical and not for paper gold.
Mr.
As
Sanders,
far as
Mr. Sanders, isn't paper certificates like Bitcoin? It's all not in my hand, and if anything ever happens, I'll never get it. Although technically, on a piece of paper or a computer screen somewhere, I've got all this money. I can't actually put my hands on it to trade if I have to. Isn't that like a bad idea? I hope that's a good laugh.
Are you practicing your understatement abilities today? It's a horrible idea. This is what I tell people all the time. Look, always take delivery of your silver and gold. Don't trust anybody, and I don't care if it's a big Wall Street ETF or it's some local dealer. You take delivery of gold and silver because they are the ultimate cash, and it won't do you a blessed bit of good to say, oh, I own ETFs in New York when there's a panic on locally. You have to have gold and silver are the ultimate cash.
And which I don't understand too, Mr. Sanders, is I've seen governments, I know Poland got a whole bunch of their gold back, but I forget what the other country was trying to get their gold back, and they were having a hard time because they had their gold stored, I think it was in America. And for some reason, they couldn't get their gold back. So what good would it be is if the economy collapses and a country is dependent upon their gold for a banking system and it's in somebody else's country? It's the same thing with these certificates. And I'm coming up on a break, too.
Yeah, it's no good at all.
Okay. We're going to take a break. Rayford, if you want to stay on the line, I'll come back to you if you got a follow-up question. But we're going to take a break. I'm with Franklin Sanders, the money changer, and we're going to be back in just a couple minutes, finish up the hour. And we're not even touching the tip of the iceberg here, but we'll be back. See you on the other side.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the Red-Nosed.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today's December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host. I've got Susan Sturl with me, and I've got Franklin Sanders, the money changer, the master of gold and silver. I've got the ability to get him on. I'm so grateful for it, and everybody's appreciating it. A lot of phone calls. And Mr. Sanders, before I forget, I want to throw it out there real quick before I forget the question. If we had to translate what gold would truly be worth if it wasn't being suppressed so much, with the trillions of dollars that we've got out there, what would gold be worth at this point in time? But let me get Mr. Sanders back on the line. Mr. Sanders, welcome back. Thanks for staying on the air. Let me ask you, Mr. Sanders, does your time permit to stay after the top of the hour? Because we've been getting a lot of calls, and we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet.
Sure.
Okay, great. Well, go ahead. The air is yours, sir. Tell everybody how who you are and how they can get a hold of you, and we'll continue on.
Okay. Well, Matt, I publish a daily commentary on the gold and silver markets.
Yes.
Actually, it's not exactly daily. It's 4 days a week. They can go to the-moneychanger.com, and they can sign up there for free. Doesn't cost a penny. It's the-moneychanger.com. Don't forget to put in the dash, because the money changer without the dash goes to a porno site, and I have nothing to do with that. But
Okay.
They can get a daily commentary there.
You know, it's
If they
funny.
wanna
One
buy
time,
the-
I'm a gun dealer, and one time I pushed in the wrong buttons that were really close to what I have to do for a NICS check, and it comes up to a porn site. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it happens.
And if they want to buy physical gold and silver, they need to call Volunteer Precious Metals. I'm in Tennessee. That's like the volunteer state. So Volunteer Precious Metals, and that number is 888-661-4093.
All right,
So
now,
that's
Mr.
60
Sanders, I've got about maybe 3.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes. So get a thought that you want to get out there before we hit the top of the hour, because we'll be hitting for 6 minutes at the top of the hour. So go ahead. What's on your
Okay,
mind?
three points to memorize. If you're buying gold and silver, there are 3 points I'd like everybody to memorize. First is always take delivery. Never leave it on deposit with somebody else. Always take delivery. Number 2, always buy the lowest cost per ounce. That is the lowest premium. But whatever you buy ought to be liquid. It ought to be widely recognized. And it's best if you can buy something divisible. And then finally, right now, because silver is very much undervalued in relation to gold. Buy more silver than gold. And then later what we can do is when the value of silver rises against gold, we can swap our silver for gold.
Why would you swap your silver for gold if I think this would be fair in reality, it's almost the same thing, just in a different type of metal, right?
Yes and no. Because what I know is that over the course of a bull market, which is an upward trending market, the one that we have now started in 99. So over time, the value of silver against gold is going to go to 16 to 1 or less. That is, we will get to a point where it takes only 16 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Right now, it takes about 88 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. So you can see you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck by going with the silver than gold.
Right.
But for technical reasons, and historical reasons, at the top of the market, I want to be in gold.
Okay.
So wait up, I got a question. What kind of divisibility or divisible? You're buying silver and gold. What do you buy that's divisible, that's divided easily so that you can use it?
Well, that's why the 90% silver coin is so important, because that's the smallest piece of silver minted.
Right.
There are 14 dimes in an ounce. And so I would buy the dimes when I buy the U.S. 90% silver coin. In addition, right now, it's the cheapest form of silver.
Okay.
So it makes sense. So in the gold, it's not, you can buy fractional gold coins, and if you know what you're doing, like the folks at Volunteer Precious Metals can tell you, you can buy fractional gold coins at about the same price as you pay for 1 ounce coins. But a lot of fractional gold coins, especially those modern mintages like American Eagles or Maple Leafs, they have a huge premium on them when you get to the quarter and especially the 10th ounce sizes. So you want to avoid those because you pay a high premium, and our goal is always to pay the lowest price.
Mr. Sanders,
price per ounce
real
possible.
quick before the break hits, in about 20 seconds here, what do you think the actual value of gold is based on the amount of fiat currency that's out there, if you didn't suppress the price?
Well, this is just my guess, but my guess is probably about $4,000 an ounce.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
my target for this move is over $8,000 an ounce.
That's incredible. Okay, Mr. Sanders, I got to take a top of the hour break. We'll be back at about 5 after, so if you can hang tight, that'd be awesome. And I'm sure we'll have some more calls in. We'll continue on with the list of things that we have written down to discuss. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got Franklin Sanders, the money changer, and we'll be back after the top of the hour break. We'll see you in about 6 minutes. See you on the other side.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
The wise men follow the star, the way I follow my heart, and it led me to a miracle. Hey, love, don't you buy me nothing, don't you buy me nothing. I am feeling one thing, your lips on my lips. That's a merry, merry Christmas. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Lights fill the streets, spend so much cheer. I should be playing in the winter snow. I will be under the mistletoe. I don't wanna miss out on the holiday, but I can't stop staring at your face. I should be playing in the winter snow, but I'ma be under the mistletoe. Yeah. Shawty with you, shawty with you. Under the mistletoe, yeah. Shawty with you. Oh, yeah. Under the mistletoe. Under the mistletoe. Kiss me underneath the mistletoe. Kiss me underneath the mistletoe. Show me, baby, that you love me so. Oh, oh, oh. Kiss me underneath the mistletoe. Show me, baby, that you love me so. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Last night I took a walk in the snow. Couples holding hands, places to go. Seems like everyone but me is in love. Santa, can you hear me? I signed my letter that I sealed with a kiss.
completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host here. I've got Franklin Sanders, the money changer, on the line, and we've been talking precious metals and gold. The master here is on the line, Franklin Sanders. And Mr. Sanders, I got you on the air now. And we had a lot of calls. We've been hitting a lot of things. We're going to wrap this up by the bottom of the hour. And so I guess we need to hit it hard. What's on your mind? I know I sent a lot of questions to you, and I thought maybe we can hit those unless you got something that's pertinent that needs to be talked about right now.
Well, well, let me just reiterate what I said. People ought to be buying now, because after the first of the year, when stocks top, then the prices are going to start shooting up. You have to realize, technically, silver and gold were in a correction. They went up from 1999 to 2011. Then they went into a correction, which is normal. Markets swing back and forth like a pendulum. Mm-hmm. They went into a correction, and that ended this summer because both of them broke out over what had been 5-year resistance this summer. This is the next leg up, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that my target is about $180 for silver and over $8,000 for gold. And the reason the way I arrive at that is really very simple. If you look at markets go up in 5 waves: up 1, down 2, up 3, down 4, up 5. And the first wave is never longer than the third wave. Well, the wave that we've got next in front of us is the third wave.
All right, Mr. Sanders, I think I lost you. Can you reiterate that, please?
Okay. Markets go up and down in 5 ways. There's a pattern. They go up 1, down 2 in a correction, up 3, down 4 in a correction, and up 5.
Gotcha.
The third leg is never the shortest. So what that means is gold went up 7.5 times from 1999 to 2011. Silver went up 12.5 times. So you can take the low from the correction, which happened in December of 2015, multiply it by 7.5 for gold or 12.5 for silver, and that'll give you a target. So, if you take the low for gold, $1,050, and you multiply it by 7.5, you come up with $7,875. For gold, you come up with about $180. So this is not pie in the sky, okay? This is just normal, well-known, publicly known and followed technical analysis. So that's what you've got to look for in this leg up, and this leg up has just started this summer because we've been sweating bullets since 2011.
Now, Mr. Sanders, I listen to a lot of different types of mediums, and I hear the sale of gold and silver, and a lot of the times, even though I'm very familiar with the concept ideas on what to do and why you're doing it, a lot of the times it comes across as a marketing ploy, and people look at it as, oh, they're just trying to sell me stuff. But in reality, they're trying to compete against their competitor, but deep down, there's a very serious need to have your precious metals. And that's why I'm hoping people who are listening to you now will understand and break through those commercialized aspects of selling gold and silver. And and get serious about buying some stuff for intrinsic value in case anything happens, that they'll be able to fall back on it. I mean, is there anything you want to follow up on that, or am I making sense what I'm saying? Have you seen the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, buying gold and silver is insurance. It's insurance against financial catastrophe. I don't know how bad it can be. Maybe it's just maybe when this debt bubble bursts, maybe it's just a depression for several years. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's some big realignment of currencies and so forth that involves in some way going back to some kind of gold. I wouldn't say gold standard, but gold-plated standard. So it's insurance. That's the reason you buy it. And I'm sorry if my comments sounded like I'm exaggerating or trying to hard sell somebody. I'm not. I think people have to make up their own minds. I'm not going to take responsibility for their decisions, which means I'm not going to hard sell them. I'm just talking about plain facts.
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that at all.
No, that's okay.
No, what I meant was people who are not familiar with this concept of precious metals may hear these commercials online about buying. And me, because I'm in radio and I do advertising and all that kind of stuff, I hear the markup of it. I mean, I'm not talking about you because you're one of those guys who are just like, hey, this is how it is. You come to me if you're interested, blah, blah, blah. But I'm hoping that our conversation will break through those people who hear those commercials and realize it's not hype, it's legitimate, where it's very important to have yourself backed up with some gold and silver. And that's why, I wanted you on the air here, because you've got a long history and you're very credible, and I want people to hear that and understand this. Speaking of which, tell everybody again, Mr. Sanders, how they can get a hold of you.
They can get a hold of me by going to the-moneychanger.com, and there they can sign up for my daily commentary there. But they can also, to buy gold or silver, they can call Volunteer Precious Metals at 888-661-4093. Matt, let me issue a little warning too. The gold and silver business is a very narrow business. We handle a lot of money, but we're like the teller at the bank. Not much of it stays in our hands. So we operate on a commission schedule that goes from 3.5% to 1%. Think about that. That means $350 on a $10,000 order. That's not much money.
Right.
So what happens is there are a lot of these companies that I can't afford to advertise, to do broadcast advertising. It doesn't make sense to me. But there are a lot of companies that sell gold and silver that sell very much overpriced items. And when I say overpriced, I mean they may be 45% over their gold or silver content. So that's why I told your listeners before you ever buy anything, ask what the cost is and the gold or silver content, divide the cost by the content, and then compare that number, which is what you're really paying per ounce, to what the spot gold or silver price is.
Well, Mr. Sanders, that's exactly why I made that comment, is because they do have a lot of money invested in it. They've got to sell it with a frosting on it, whereas you are the type of person who says, listen, this is how you do it. This is how you save your money. This is how you get the best deal. And because there is since there's a lot of competition for such little product, you got to be very careful who you go to. And people may be turned off by these other people who are promoting it in a very glossy way, which makes you very appealing because you're telling it like brass tacks how it is. You're selling the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but I have to tell you, man, over the years, I've had to bury a lot of corpses. And I mean corpses from companies that have sold people stuff that they'll never get out of. They just, they sold them at such a high price, it'll take forever to get out of it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I keep, whether your listeners do business with us or some other company, what I'm telling you is be careful what you're doing. Look at what the cost is, because if the premium you're paying is more than 5 or 6%, you're going to have a hard time getting it back.
Right. All right, Mr. Sanders, I'm fixing to come up to a break, and when we come back, what I'd like to do is we'll have the final segment with this. I've got about maybe 5 or 6 other questions. Maybe we can throw out the questions, get quick answers, and then final commentaries, maybe a phone call or two, and we'll take it from there. So we'll take a break. We'll come back with Franklin Sanders, the Money Changer. We'll see you on the other side. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin. Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, December 18, 2019. Matt, your host here, and I've got Franklin Sanders, the money changer, on the line with me. We've been talking precious metal and gold. A lot of questions still not asked. He's given us some great information. Mr. Sanders, welcome back to the program.
Thanks.
And I'll tell you what, right from the get-go here, tell everybody again how they can get a hold of you, Mr. Sanders.
They can sign up for my daily commentary at my website, the-moneychanger.com. And for precious metals, they can call Volunteer Precious Metals at 888-661-4093. And they can talk to Justin Miller, Kristen.
And me as your host highly recommend you do that. I've known Mr. Sanders and I've dealt with Mr. Sanders, and it's all legit and good and up and fair, and it's a good deal. So check it out if you have any questions about that. Now, Mr. Sanders, do you have anything on the top of your head real quick? Otherwise, I want to go back to this. I sent you a list of 10 things that were on the top of my mind, and we've hit a bunch of them. But there's some that are just, quick bullet points. Maybe we can get some quick answers or quick commentaries on them. So before I do that, is there anything that you've got that you want to mention before we forget?
Well, once again, I want to make sure your listeners understand that silver is extremely underpriced relative to gold today, undervalued. So whatever they buy, they ought to favor silver in any new buying. They ought to favor silver. In other words, if you're going to spend $5,000, spend 60% of it at least on silver and 40% on gold, or even 70-30.
Right.
Makes sense.
Okay, I've got.
Could you say your website one more time? Because I'm trying to call it up and I'm having a hard time. Is it Z dash?
I think it's the.
Yeah, that's like Tom, Harry, Edward.
Oh, the money changer.
Yeah, it was coming across sounding like a Z, but I knew what it was, so I didn't really pay attention to it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So say it again.
TheMoneyChangers.com.
And then there are a hyphen.
THE. The.
Just one changer.
TheMoneyChanger.com.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify because I was having a hard time.
All right, Mr. Sanders. Let me throw some questions out here, and we probably hit a bunch of it, but it'll just be a bullet type of deal. What are exactly precious metals? Why precious metals, and what exactly are there? What is in the category of precious metals besides gold and silver? Because that's obvious.
Okay, well, you buy gold or silver because they are the ultimate cash and their insurance against financial crisis and monetary depreciation. That's the reason you buy them. They're insurance. What is considered precious metals? Gold and silver, to a lesser extent, platinum and palladium. But your listeners need to get straight on gold and silver first before they wander off into platinum and palladium. And palladium I wouldn't touch right now because there's special factors that are peculiar to that market and define that market that have driven the price up over $1,900 an ounce.
Okay, so stick with the history, and that is gold and silver.
Right. Silver has been money for all of mankind's history. That's the money people, the daily money people have known, and to a much lesser extent, gold, because of the gold has a higher unit value.
Okay. And why do governments back their currency with gold? It's obvious, because that's money.
Because they know it's money.
Right.
Because they know that just, no matter what the circumstances are, that they're going to be able to use it. And it's very important, Matt, to remember that since 2014, really since 2012, central banks have been purchasing more and more gold as a reserve, and what they're doing is they're slipping out of holding the U.S. dollar as reserves, and they're slipping into holding gold as reserves.
This brings up a question here, because I mentioned this to you before, and that was, I strategize, and I'm a military guy, and when Putin comes on and says the United States is using the U.S. dollar as a weapon, I look and say for every weapon, there's a counter weapon. So if the U.S. dollar is the weapon, there's got to be a counter weapon, which is going to be a different currency. And when you got Russia and China working together, trying to form up some type of currency they can deal with each other, that puts a hurt on the U.S. dollar. Would you agree? And if so, can you explain a little bit about it?
Well, there's no question that the Chinese and the Russians are trying to create some kind of payment system that gets them out from under the rule of the dollar. And there's no question that the United States has weaponized the dollar. I mean, the dollar is the world's reserve currency. 80% of the transactions in the world, international transactions, take place in terms of dollars. So what happens is when the United States wants to weaponize the dollar, they put sanctions on somebody like Iran, for instance. And the rest of the world is tired of that. They're fed up with that. So the U.S. has this payment systems called SWIFT, and all these other countries have started another system parallel to that, so they can get out from under the rule of the U.S. dollar. That's happening. I mean, it's just happening. That is another way you can tell the dollar is passing offline. I just mentioned it. Central banks are switching out of dollars as reserves and into gold as reserves.
That is such a big thing. When I saw these headlines, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I know why they're doing this. And everybody's talking great economy. I say, yes, it's great. Okay, everything's fine. But look, not everything lasts. And when it goes down, you better have a backup plan.
Right. And that's what the central banks are doing.
All right, which brings us to gold for barter. Any thoughts on that?
Yes, don't. You're better off using silver for barter, because silver has smaller pieces. As I said, with 90% silver dimes, the dimes, quarters, and halves minute before 1965, you've got 14 dimes to an ounce. So that's the smallest piece of precious metal that's generally recognizable that you can find. So that's why I recommend those. If you want small gold, then don't pay a big premium for it. What I would buy in terms of small gold is I would buy any of the Mexican peso series. That's from a 20th of an ounce up to 1.2 ounces. I I'd buy, that's the 2 pesos, 2.5, 5s, 10s, 20s. I'd buy those because they're cheap. You don't pay a lot over the gold content. I'd buy Fritz or Swiss 20 francs. That's another great coin traded around the world, very liquid, and they're about a little less than 2/10 of an ounce. I'd buy those. There are other coins, British sovereigns. Just lately, I found U.S. $5 gold pieces at I could sell them at like 4.5%, and that's because the premium has dropped so much in the last 3 or 4 years. So, just ask when you go to buy, say, look, I'm looking for a low premium gold coin. What fractional gold coin do you have that's got a low premium? And that way you'll get a good buy on it.
And Mr. Sanders, how does one know they're not getting screwed? Because I've heard reports that some gold bars were filled with, what's the metal? I forget the metal, about the same weight as gold. So you'd have to drill through it to make sure that you're not getting some precious gold and a whole bunch of steel. Now, how can you tell, like with ivory, you get a hot pin, you burn it, it turns black. How can you tell with gold if you're getting really gold?
Well, did you hear me say buy gold bars?
Yeah, I did, but how do you know that that's 100% the way it's supposed to be?
I did not say that, and I do not recommend that.
He said buy small.
I said, right, I would always buy coins.
Right.
You're way better off to buy coins. That's number one.
They're more tradable.
They're more recognizable and tradable. That's exactly right.
When the dollar goes bad, and just make sure I'm clarifying, then if you have small amounts of silver and gold, then you can trade, for things using silver and gold rather than the dollar.
Okay, I'm running out of time, so I want to ask.
If you have a big bar, you can't trade a big bar of gold.
A couple quick questions, and that is, how would you store it? Where and how to store it, in your opinion?
Okay, number one, I'd store it where I have 24-hour access to it.
Say again, you got muffled there.
I would store where I have 24-hour access.
Okay.
Remember, silver and gold are the ultimate cash. I want to be able to grab them and go if I have to. So most people in their house can find some blind spot where they can build in hidden storage. Let me give you an example. You're standing at your kitchen sink. In front of your toes is what's called the kick plate on the cabinet, right? And all you have to do is pry off that kick plate, and there's enough room under there to stash $100,000 worth of.
Well, the first thing a robber's going to do listening now is kick the foot plate of the kitchen sink.
They do not have that much ambition. I can promise you. Guy breaks into your house. What he wants to do?
I'm getting my other precious metal. It's called lead.
That's right. That's what I was thinking.
Mr. Sanders, we're breaking here. I'd like to say I can't thank you enough for calling. Please tell everybody how they can get a hold of you one more time before we break here.
Okay. They can call Volunteer Precious Metals at 888-661-4093.
Mr. Sanders, I really appreciate you coming on. I want to get you back on again if your time will permit. I'll talk to you after the program. And ladies and gentlemen, Franklin Sanders, Money Changer. And if you forget how to get a hold of him, just give us a call at the studio and we'll get in touch. Or we'll give you the information. So we're going to take a break and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you, Mr. Sanders.
Yes, thank you.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today is December 18th, 2019. I'm with Susan Sturl, and we just got done with Franklin Sanders, the money changer. Susan, why don't you tell everybody again his website, because it was a little bit difficult to hear.
His website is the-moneychanger.com. It's the-moneychanger.com. And
Is it a dash or an underscore?
No, it's a dash.
Okay.
And you need to type in www.the-moneychanger.com. And then you can sign up for his newsletter, too. He's got a newsletter.
That's
and
free?
He's got and that's very cool. He's got 10 commandments for buying gold and silver, some blogging things here, and it's a good website.
Okay, so he was talking precious metals, gold and silver. I want to continue on with the show and talking precious metals. I think it's very important. And because of that, I'm going to give you some true stories of self-defense. And we're going to talk the precious metal of lead. All right? So be prepared. We've got some great information when it comes to what to do and what not to do in self-defense situations like these. So keep your note paper out, your pencil out, take some notes. Here we go. I got this from the Concealed Carry magazine, and these will help us out tremendously. I got a Tennessee man prevents a street robbery. A Memphis man was in front of a grocery store when another man tried to rob him. Fearing for his life, the would-be victim drew a pistol and fired on the robber, fatally wounding him and driving him away. The victim then approached two nearby police officers and reported the incident. Police are calling the shooting self-defense. Let me tell you something about this. People ask, what do you do when you're aggressed upon? And I said, hopefully nothing more than a verbal a command voice, but if you have to, Penal Code 904, and that's just threat is a justifiable force. So let's say, for example, you're carrying a weapon in a holster or a purse, and you happen to flash the weapon to say, listen, don't mess with me because I can protect myself. Well, that was Penal Code 904. The odds say the individual that you just said, get away from me, don't hurt me, is probably going to call the police and say, yo, some dude or some chick just pulled a gun on me. They'll give a description of you while you're calling up doing the same thing. So it's CYA. So this guy runs to the police after getting shot. He's probably saying, hey, man, this crazy guy shot me. Well, in reality, he was trying to rob him. Next story. Armed Texas men stop knife point robbery. Two Tyler men, a father and son, were eating lunch in their car after church one day when they saw a man holding a man and woman at knife point. The father and son drew their illegally carried pistols and confronted the robber, ordering him to drop his knife and get on the ground. The two armed Good Samaritans then held the suspect for police, who arrested him on robbery charges. In an interesting twist, subsequent investigation revealed the female victim to actually be a co-conspirator, having set up the male companion to be robbed. She was later arrested on charges of aggravated robbery. Can you believe that? Guys, you got to watch out, man. Some of these women are going to get you both directions, so you got to be careful. Kudos to the two Tyler men. Way to go. Being observant and being a good Samaritan. Next story. Michigan man defends sister from stalker. After stalking and assaulting her several times over a long period, a Detroit man kicked in the front door of his ex-girlfriend's house about 8 one morning. Fortunately for the woman, her brother was at home with her. Seeing the intruder breaking into the home, the brother took up a pistol and shot the intruder several times in the chest, killing him and ending the attack. Police are investigating as self-defense. What a great way. What a beautiful investment of lead. The dividends that came off of that small investment. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just use a basic.
I bet you the guy had a restraining order.
Probably. It's just another piece of paper. It's like buying gold with paper. What good is it? A restraining order protect your life. What good is it? But think about the investment value. This individual buys a box of, let's say, 9mm for $13-15, and he uses one of them for about 25 cents. The return on it is he saved all of his property, saved his salt, he saved all his. What a great dividend return. You can get that too when it comes to precious metal. The money changer, right?
That's right. The money changer. The-moneychanger.com. And also, if you want to learn self-defense and how to shoot well and how to shoot well under stress, go to Aaron's Gun Shop in Cameron, Texas, and learn all about it.
Well, thank you, Susan. I appreciate the plug.
Yep.
Okay, I've got a few more here before the break. If I probably won't make it, I'll do one more. Nevada home invasion goes bad for invaders. A Las Vegas man and woman were at home one evening when two men forced their way in, overpowered the couple, and tied them up, after which the suspects demanded money. Like, you tie them up, how are they going to get money? You dummy. The man was able to escape his bonds and get to a pistol he kept in the house, which he used to fire on the home invaders.
And they don't know how to tie knots. Bad Boy Scouts.
You remember that picture I've got on the wall in the shop? It says dots.com or knots.com, and you got the bank or the robber inside the house trying to tie up the person, and he's on the computer Googling how to tie knots.
Yeah. You need to know how to tie your knots.
One criminal was killed at the scene, while the second one fled and sought medical attention for a gunshot wound and is arrested by police at the hospital. Okay, so he kept his wits. He got out of his bonds, got the gun, and took out the perpetrator. Okay, so there you go. We're coming up on a break. I'll scratch that one out, and we'll go to a couple others later on. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to possess and own a firearm, be sure you know how to use it. Like Susan said, give me a call, aaronsgunshop.com. I can square you away.
It has a great facility, indoor, facilities and all that, bathrooms, and it's a nice place.
A lot of good people, too. So we're going to take a break, and we'll see you on the other side.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today is December 18th. It depends on how you count it, 6 or 7 days to Christmas. So I hope everybody's ready. I don't know the way the weather is.
It's Merry Christmas, too, by the way. Merry Christmas.
Do you think if it gets cold enough, you put your sprinkler system on, you might get some snow?
No, it's cold outside today.
I know, but if you put your sprinkler on, it was 26 degrees this morning, you might get some snowflakes in front of your house.
It's not Merry Holiday. It's Merry Christmas. Just making a point.
We've got sponsors who sponsor the program, and without them, we wouldn't be on the air. ANC Firearms is one of them. In Heidenhammer, Arch Kuntz, a very good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. He's got a great place out there, great staff. Clint, Mike, Dennis. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, accessories, black powder, reloading, the whole works. Well, every week we usually do a product spotlight, and today is no different. This week is no different. That is the racking of a Mossberg 590 Shockwave, but it's not just a Shockwave. It is a nightstick version of the Shockwave. If you're streaming us live at logicnation.us, you get to see it, and you'll see this nice little thing that looks like a stubby shotgun, but it's not. It's categorized as a firearm, and just to let you know, it's less than an 18-inch barrel. I believe it's around 14 inches, but its overall length is 26-plus inches, which makes it legal because it comes from the manufacturer that way. If you start building it and cutting off barrels and putting pistol grips on it, then you've got an AOL or all other type of weapon. You got a short-barreled shotgun. You got to stamp it. Well, this you don't have to do. It's totally legal. It's fantastic because you've got a powerhouse of a firearm that shoots a 12-gauge shotgun or a 20-gauge or a 410, depending on which model you get. It's not too much wider than my shoulders, which means I can go around the house if necessary. It makes a great self-defense firearm because I can turn corners and I don't have to worry about a 28-inch barrel sticking out or an 18-inch barrel out that the enemy, the threat, can grab hold of. It's a quick pointer, and the bird's head grip is what makes it phenomenal. If you're looking in the live feed, you get to see the bird head. It is horizontal, basically, to the floor. So when you hold on to the grip and fire it, all the energy goes out the back of the grip as compared to a vertical pistol grip, which turns your arm into the stock. And when you fire it, all the recoil goes into your hand, into your wrist, into your arm, and it's a little owie, okay? But when you shoot this thing with the bird head grip, and I usually put my thumb over just for a muzzle flip just to help it out a little bit, all the energy goes out the backside. So it's a fantastic firearm for self-defense, for fun, for play. I specifically got this version called the Nightstick because it reminded me of the shotgun I used when I was in the military. So I got a cut-down version of the shotgun I used. It's got the nice wood foregrip and the nice wood bird head grip, and I put onto it a nice leather sling. I also modified a heat shield to put on it to fit quite nicely. So you got a very nice, appealing-looking package as well as a very useful utilitarian type of package. And the price is right, and it's legal. You don't need to get a stamp for it at all. So I highly recommend you go to A&C Firearms in Heidenhammer. Give them a call, 254-983-4417. 983-4417. Tell them you heard it on the show here. Get yourself one. Get yourself two. They're great stocking stuffers.
Well, I have a 410 version, and I really like it. It's really a lot of fun.
And there's just so much you can do with it.
Yep, it's a lot of fun.
I talked about a couple weeks ago, I talked about the Remington TAC 13 model. It's a semi-auto. It's the same length as this, but it's in a semi-auto version. I got this one. Oh, the other thing, too, is with the Mossberg, you can put down here where the shells come out a rubber adapter piece and actually use what I've got here is the Aguila mini shell. So this firearm would normally take about 4 rounds and one in the chamber, whereas now you can put 8 rounds of a mini shell into the tube, one in the chamber. You just doubled capacity, so who needs a belt clip of extra ammo?
Well, how are you going to miss anyway? You only need one shot, right?
Well, that you would think so. You would think that would be the point, but sometimes people need a little bit of training, a little bit of practice with it. You might point down a little bit low, point too high to the left or the right, but in general, because the closer the subject is, the tighter the wad is. I mean, as you go out a little further, then you're going to probably hit a lot more stuff. But if you're shooting up close and personal, it can get kind of personal and can get kind of ugly. So you want to make sure that you're familiar with how it works. But give A&C Firearms a call. They're a great sponsor. Been sponsoring me for a long time, sponsoring this program as well. 254-983-4417. Tell them you heard it on the show. Tell Arch, Clint, Mike, Dennis hi, and they'll welcome you in with welcome arms, give you a soda too if you ask for it. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on with the last segment of the show. See you on the other side. 866-89-LOGIC.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, December 18th, 2019. Matt, your host here with Susan Sturl. I got Shane popped in. Shane, how's it going? Good to see you. Good. Feel free to hit the mic when you want to. I've got Con on the line. We're going to throw Con on the line here in just a second. But how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm tired this morning. I'm getting ready for a funeral where my wife and I are leaving out of town today. So I'm tired.
Well, hopefully, I mean, with this, maybe I'll put you to sleep with the rest of the show.
Well, all 5 minutes of it.
All right, well, look, if you want to be a last-minute caller on the show, 866-89-LOGIC. I've got Con on the line, and
Happy holidays.
I want to wish Con a happy holiday. So, Con, happy holidays. Happy holidays. Talk to me, Con. Oh, I got to hook you up there first, Con, before you can speak. So, wait a minute. So, happy holidays, Con. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm looking forward to a Merry Christmas, and I just felt an obligation to call and warn you that Susan may have just violated political correctness in a severe way.
Merry Christmas!
You know that's why we were teasing you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful doing that now because when Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch used the term Merry Christmas, he was roundly considered and he was accused of being a white nationalist. So I'm just saying that y'all need to be very, very cautious of violating political correctness by saying Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas, Con. Merry Christmas.
Well, I
Christmas
still use
is
that
merry.
term, and I'm going to continue to use that term. If they don't like it, they can do whatever they're big enough to do.
Well, if the audience hasn't figured out that I'm not politically, or that if they think I'm politically correct, they're crazy. I mean, I think I've said enough here on the air to make it show that I'm not politically correct. So I don't really care what people think. I'm going to say Merry Christmas. I'm going to say what's on my mind. I'll try to say it nicely.
Merry Christmas.
Well,
if they really want, some to not be politically correct, they should check out the Christmas show on the next Tuesday. Because I'm going to be saying Merry Christmas all over the place.
Oh, speaking of which, now next week, everybody, we got Shane giving us a much-needed break. Thank you very much, Shane. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. We're going to be off. Susan and I won't be there Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we'll be back Thursday and Friday. And I think I'll have Con with me as well.
Yep.
So Shane's going to be taking over. Why don't you give the schedule real quick? Monday is a repeat?
Yeah, well, Monday's a show that Con and I did we recorded
Okay,
it yesterday. But yeah, so Monday will be that. Tuesday will be a Christmas show live with me. No politics, just clear Christmas music. That's it. For one day out of the year, no politics.
It's like the fire on the TV. You just watch it and hear the music. Right?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And then Wednesday will be Christmas Day. Will be a best of, and then you and Con on
Susan will be
Thursday
back
and
Thursday,
Friday,
Friday.
and then
Repeat for next week.
Yeah, on the 1st, on New Year's Day, there'll be a repeat. But before that, it'll be me and Con on Monday and Tuesday doing regular shows, and then everything will be back to normal on January 2nd.
Wow, I can't believe it's going to be the first of the year again. It's amazing how this year
I know.
flew. It's
I
crazy.
know.
Got to figure out what it takes to slow it down. Con, you did you hear of the money changer on the last hour, Con? You still there? Great. Okay. See you soon. It's always a pleasure to have Con on.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
I wish I would have. I wish I would have heard that segment.
Well, we're going to have it on
Money
YouTube,
changer.
so you can
Okay.
check it
Yeah,
out.
it's awesome.
Go to YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio, and you get to hear it. Should stream not too far after.
Thank you.
replay.
Con's coming in the door.
Okay. Now, Susan, once you got about a minute, real quick on Logic Nation or Logic Fest.
Logic Fest is January 24th, 25th, 26th of 2020. I'm
It's going to be a
grabbing
good time.
my papers
It's going to be a good
here.
time. Fredericksburg, the Knick-Knack store on the main drag in the middle. I'll meet you there. What else, Susan?
Lots of like-minded folks will get together, and on Saturday from 8 to 10, Ed'll do his Law Talk, radio show from there, and then also from 12 to 2, Common Sense with Con. You can come and check it out and look at everybody and see what they look like.
Makes sense to me.
Dinner at Allstead Brewery on Saturday night. Friday night, dinner at Crossroads Saloon and Steakhouse. Call in and or call. There's a number of different hotels. Windcrest Inn and Suites.
All right. That's good. They got the
Sunset
point.
Inn and Suites, Econo Lodge, Brewster's Guest Hotel.
All right, everybody. We're gonna finish up the hour with a Merry Christmas.
Merry
We
Christmas.
got 7 days to go, 6 days to go. Tomorrow we'll talk about impeachment, see what's happening there.
Merry Christmas.
We'll recap it.
It's cold
And,
outside too.
Until tomorrow, God bless. Keep your powder dry.
Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh, my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh. Do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that